Okay. All right. So I'm going to talk about the subscribe function in the discussion board. If you're not familiar with it, what it allows you to do is that you can send emails. Or actually, when you subscribe to a forum or to a thread now, you will get an email for every new post in the forum or from any reply to an existing post. The email that you will get will be set up by the instructor to either contain the text of the post or the reply, or a link to the post in Blackboard, which makes the person that receives the email to have to click on it to log in Blackboard and review the post. The subscription it's not mandatory for the students. They will determine themselves if they want to subscribe or not, which means it's not something that the professor can force upon them. Just tell them the subscription is available and please go ahead and subscribe to the forum. But it's not something that is done for everybody automatically. They'll have to. It will take an action from the student to subscribe to the forum. They also have in Service Pack 14 an option to subscribe to a thread in the forum. We're going to talk about that a little bit more later when we go into details. But that's basically what it does in a discussion board. Just a quick question. How many of you are familiar with the subscribe function in the discussion board? Raise your hand.
Or let's use a green checkbox if you are and a red checkbox if you're not.
Okay.
And this is, have you used the subscribe button in a class or anything?
Okay. All right. So I guess this is pretty new for everybody except for Jeannie. Good. Let's continue then to the next slide. So how do we set up the forum or the discussion board or the thread to be set up to subscribe? Well, it can be done when you first create the form, or you can edit the form and change the settings in there to allow the subscription. And this is how it looks like when you create the form or when you edit the form. You can see that under option number 3. Let's see here. Option number 3. The settings for the form will give you these options. Now you can see there's 2 of them. The first one is allow members to subscribe to threads and allow members to subscribe to the forum. Now, when you select the allow the members to subscribe to the forum, you have 2 other options at the bottom, which is include the body of the post in the email or include the link to the post. So this is something that the professor determines on how they're going to get the emails from subscription to a forum. However, the post in the email is not included when you select subscribe to threads. When you get an email from a thread, you will only get the link to the thread. Okay. Victor Milankovic, professor in computer science, is one of our professors that uses it extensively in his courses. He uses it pretty much to have communication with all his students, and everything is done through the discussion board in his course. If the students have a question or if they need to know anything, they'll contact him through the discussion board. He doesn't accept emails or unless it's something that discusses grades or is something of a personal matter. But for every communication, this is done through the discussion board. All right, so what does the subscription to a forum allows? Well, it opens the communication between the students and the professor. Let's say, for example, a student needs to ask a question and they can't wait until tomorrow or 2 days from then when the professor is in the office. They can post a question in the forum, and the professor will get it right away in an email. There is no need to access Blackboard to read the information. So when you subscribe, you get the emails automatically to whatever you have set up as a preferred email address. And also you don't need a computer because nowadays everybody gets their email on their phone. So this is a tremendous advantage if you want to receive communication in a fairly quick amount of time. Subscription to the forum can help you in that aspect. Now, it's not all great. There's some downside to the subscription. There's a problem, for example, if a student drops the course and they have subscribed before they dropped it, they will still receive the notifications from the forum. In order for us to fix that, we have to go through a series of steps, and it's not an easy process to get rid of the person, to stop receiving emails. Right now, we cannot reply via email. So if you get a notification from the forum, you will have to log into Blackboard if you want to reply. It cannot be done through your regular email. If you have a large class with a lot of activity, that could be very cumbersome in your email. You might be receiving hundreds of emails of students participating in that forum. So that's something to keep in mind if you're going to do the subscription. Okay, so where is it going? I think we're gonna see this as we become more and more mobile. A lot of the functions are going to be more available. A lot of those functions are going to be more available to the students and to the faculty. A lot of their communications via email is going to be more and more. How can I say that? More and more common. So we're going to expect to see more of that. This is a time saver for faculty on the road. The good thing is that they don't need a computer. All they need is their phone to access the information, and they can prioritize based on that. Now, of course, if you want to reply, obviously you're going to need to access your computer. So this is going to be happening more and more, and hopefully we're going to see some more updates on the discussion board from Blackboard. Now, do we have any questions on the subscription? Anybody?
I wanted to comment, if I could, on Victor. Let me get back to his picture for you. Victor teaches computer science, and he, in his class, there are questions about the programs. He's got a program due every week, and he gives them the assignment, and then as they start working on it, they realize, hold it, we're not sure how to do this. So somebody posts it on the discussion board, and he posts his reply. Instead of having to go to the discussion board, the students are automatically notified of the clarification. So it puts everybody on an equal basis. It also means that rather than using the announcements in the send email, he puts, if he's going to delay the due date on a program for some reason or change the requirements of it, he just puts it in the discussion board. There's another thing on that here on this slide. While you're setting up, if you allow members to create new threads, then you probably only want to allow members to subscribe to the forum. Otherwise, in Victor's case, if a student creates a new thread with a question in it, no one would get his answer unless they had gone out and physically hit the subscribe button for that thread. So it's likely that if you allow the members to create new threads, and that's common in a case like this, where It's just you ask a question, you create a thread for it, then you'll probably want to allow members to subscribe to the forum, not to the threads themselves. If you create the threads, so if you turn this off and you say, okay, here's a thread for program 1, here's a thread for program 2, program 3, program 4, then it may make more sense to allow the members to subscribe to individual threads. But be aware of it isn't foolproof, and as Rick pointed out, here it is. Subscribing is optional unless specified. So Victor tells the students you need to subscribe to this forum. It's crucial. That's how you're going to get your communication. Well, if they don't go out there and click that button, they're not subscribed. You can't create a forum that everybody is subscribed to. So it isn't quite as powerful as a mailing list, but if you can get your students to subscribe to it, it can really help. So any questions? Any comments from any of you? I see a bunch of people that are experts at online learning and at design. Gene? Can't hear you, Gene. Have you clicked your talk button?
Yeah, does it work now?
Got it.
Yes.
I guess I have to click on it twice. Anyway, it's been a while since I've done this, but when I create a link to the post, I thought that when they clicked on it, it took them to Blackboard rather than opening the message. Can you clarify for me?
Yes, that's what it does. When you click on the link, it takes you to Blackboard, but you have to log in and see the message in the discussion board.
Okay, so then if you did have a phone, then you would have to have set it so that it would come in the message if you wanted to see it right away, because if you'd have to go into Blackboard, you'd have to log in, right? Is that correct?
You'll have to log into the browser, yes. You can use the phone browser to log into Blackboard and get directly to the discussion board.
Okay, that answered my question. Thank you.
There's also the option of the mobile version of Blackboard that will also give you access to the discussion board directly from your phone, from iPhone or Android phone. So there is a mobile version that allows you to access the discussion boards. Another thing that I wanted to add from what Bill commented, the subscribe function is directly linked to the email service in Blackboard, the email tool. If you don't have the email tool enabled, the students will not get the emails from the forum. So that's one thing that has to be, if you start getting notifications from your students saying, I'm not getting the emails, it's most probably because the email tool in Blackboard is not enabled. So they're directly linked to each other. They're depending.
Following up on what Gene said, I would think you'd almost always want the body of the post in the email, and if you can do it. Now the problem is that if you allow members to subscribe to threads, you only get the link. And the best that you can do, I guess, is get the message, but you can't reply to it under any circumstances. That is, you might be able to send a private email or something, but that kind of defeats it. You're going to have to go to Blackboard at this point in order to react to what's happened. Gene, have you used this in teaching?
Using the subscribe feature, you mean, or?
Yeah, the subscribe.
Yeah, and I was going to say that one of the concerns that I have with including the post in the email is that everybody needs to know that that's going to happen, because once it's in your email, it's easy to forward. So if somebody posts something that they that they think is going to be in the course rather than, you know, spread around an email. That might be a concern. I mean, at least if it's in the course, somebody's got to log in and copy it and send it to somebody if they wanted to. But it adds a little bit of a layer of comfort, I think, to some students to not have it go out as an email to everyone.
Good point. Shane and Nick, are you still awake? Give me a green check if you're still there. Shane is there. Nick is probably working on one of his many computers while he listens to this. Any questions, Shane? Anything you want to discuss with any of this? Okay. Well, we're done early then. I thank you all. Our hope is that we will promote this more widely, that we will do it every week, 3:30 on Wednesday, 3:30 Eastern Time on Wednesday, and have some things like this that we demonstrate. And hopefully we'll have continue to have great participation from people who are using it and discussion back and forth. We will be taking this video and cutting it into pieces for each one of the segments that we had so that people can learn about these things if they weren't able to attend. And if you have ideas for other things that we should be presenting, I mean, I think I've got a 2-page list already, but if you have things that you'd like us to do right away, let us know. I'm bill.vilberg@miami.edu, and Blackboard help at miami.edu gets you to our ticketing system and to Brett and Rick. And in fact, let's put in Brett and Rick. Let's go ahead. Well, no, who have we got here? We got Shane, Gene, and Nick. Gene knows how to get in touch with me, and Nick and Shane already know how to get in touch with you, so we probably don't need to put our email addresses. That's it. Hump Day is almost over. See you next week.